tonight. The new session of Parliament began today with the swearing-in of members of Parliament and senators.
The government of Jamaica, the Parliament of Jamaica, is now firmly and decisively in place and ready to get down to business.
Jamaica Labour Party Member of Parliament for Southern Trelawney, Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, is the second female to be sworn in as Speaker of the House. Opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips has selected 4 women among his 8 senators that were sworn into the upper house earlier today. And following a magisterial recount, Jamaica Labour Party candidate in the Westmoreland Eastern Constituency, Daniel Lawrence, was declared the winner of the seat earlier today.
The people of Eastern Westmoreland was crying out for it, and now they got it through me, and I will deliver.
Good evening. The new session of Parliament began today with the swearing-in of members of Parliament and senators. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, in speaking at the new session, says his government is ready to serve the people.
The government of Jamaica, the Parliament of Jamaica, is now firmly and decisively in place and ready to get down to business. Madam Speaker, I stand here as Prime Minister for the 3rd time, humbled and honored to be the steward of the affairs of the people of this country at this time in our history. I'm very seized of the magnitude of all the challenges we face, but I'm very motivated and I'm very optimistic of the energy, the skill, the thoughtfulness, and the commitment of the team that is assembled not just on my side of the House, but of the entire Parliament, of the entire government of Jamaica, of all the people of Jamaica, to overcome these challenges. We will, as a country, recover stronger.
Mr. Holness further shared his views on how he plans to help the country grow.
Many issues have been raised about growth, and now in the pandemic, certainly it will be very difficult to grow. And there are many reasons, many reasons have been proffered as to why it is that we are not growing. But I would like to think, Madam Speaker, that there are some institutional weaknesses, some structural weaknesses, some bureaucratic hurdles that have been in the way of growth. And now this administration, in this time, must be strong, must be strategic, and must be deliberate in making the deep institutional reforms that are necessary, in removing the bureaucratic hurdles that have prevented us from taking off. This administration must ensure that our public bureaucracy is efficient so that we can gain the dividends of that efficiency in growth.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips, in addressing Parliament, says the government must ensure that the people are a priority.
We come to this Parliament first as Jamaicans. Seeking to build a nation that not only offers the chance of meaningful livelihood to the citizens of the country, but a country and a nation which also reflects the best attributes of humanity: respect for the human being, concern for those who need to be lifted up, a willingness to protect rather than wound our fellow human beings. And our responsibility at the pinnacle of our authority and power in this country is to reflect these attributes among ourselves and to be able to advance the cause of Jamaica as a whole, as distinct from the cause of each of our political supporters. We are all convinced, I believe, on both sides, that the democratic traditions that we have established provide us with the best means of advancing our purposes of uplifting the country and developing our citizens and their capacities.
In other news, Jamaica Labour Party Member of Parliament for Southern Trelawney, Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, has been selected by Prime Minister Andrew Holness to be the new Speaker of the House of Representatives. Mrs. Dalrymple Filbert was sworn in today for a fourth consecutive term as Member of Parliament for the constituency and holding the position of Speaker of the House for the second time around, having first served from July 2011 to December of that same year. Mrs. Dalrymple Filbert is the second female to serve as Speaker of the House. Opposition leader and President of the People's National Party, Dr. Peter Phillips, has selected 4 women among his 8 senators that were sworn into the upper house earlier today. These include Donna Scott Motley, attorney at law who remains as leader of opposition business in the Senate, Sophia Fraser-Binns, Janice Allen, and Gabriela Morris. Dr. Phillips said the group reflects the PNP's commitment to a Senate that is distinct, deliberative body as intended by the Constitution of Jamaica, and it also seeks to ensure within the numerical limits effective representation for the various regions of the country and a gender balance. The opposition leader also said the Senate appointments bring together youth along with people of experience and include a wide range of national stakeholders, including workers, private sector professionals, academic, community, and others. The other 4 opposition senators include Dr. Floyd Morris, Damian Crawford, Norman Horn, and Lambert Brown. Following a magisterial recount, Jamaica Labour Party JLP candidate in the Westmoreland Eastern constituency, Daniel Lawrence, was declared the winner of the seat. More on this story with Kadisha Clark.
The Jamaica Labour Party's Daniel Lawrence was declared the winner of the Westmoreland Eastern seat after polling 4,862 votes to the People's National Party's Luther Buchanan, who received 4,851 votes. Mr. Lawrence, in speaking with our news team earlier today, shared his feedback on the magisterial recount process.
Well, ups and downs, figures go up, figures go down, but I was always confident of the win. So I just hold out and stick it out, and here it is. The people of Eastern Westmoreland was crying out for it, and now they got it through me, and I will deliver.
Attorney at law representing Mr. Lawrence, O'Neill Brown, says he is satisfied with the outcome of the magisterial recount.
We are quite happy at the victory of Mr. Lawrence. We believe that the numbers were always on our side, and at the end of this magisterial recount, he has been certified by the parish court judge as the winner, and we are certain that he will make an excellent member of parliament.
Our news team spoke with several supporters of Mr. Lawrence, who also expressed their satisfaction with the outcome of the magisterial recount.
I am somewhat elated at this moment for the magisterial recount, and that it came out in favor of Mr. Lawrence, whom I supported from the get-go. Westmoreland Eastern had long awaited someone to truly represent them, and Mr. Lawrence is here to bring about that difference, and I am back of him 100%.
The people said they want Mr. Lawrence, Daniel Lawrence. Well, it's happening right now. So people, this is just the icing on the cake, and this is just the beginning, and I'm telling you, Mr. Lawrence will do an excellent job.
We don't know the Gulf for suffer too long. We need prosperity, and that's what we got to get now. Up, 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 up there, Mr. Lawrence. We did it for you. We did back at you. No skin up, working time we are set.
Meanwhile, lead attorney at law representing the People's National Party's Luther Buchanan, Maurice McCurdy, shared a few recommendations for the electoral system.
I would give the electoral system a 7 out of 10 because what is abundantly clear in this exercise is that someone voted in a PD when he was not entitled to do so. And what this means is that a ballot has been accepted, when it ought not to have been there in the first place. We must now look at ourselves and our electoral system to see how best we can strengthen that, to ensure that if this matter arises in the future, we have a system that is solid, a system that can reflect the interests of the people, and a system that can get high marks at 10 out of 10. There's much work to be done, but I'm sure we will get there.
Reporting for Mello TV News, I'm Kadisha Clark.
The Jamaica Labour Party's JLP Rhoda Crawford has been sworn in as the Member of Parliament for the constituency of Central Manchester earlier today, after once again coming out comfortably victorious at the end of the magisterial recount at the Manchester Parish Court yesterday. According to the recount, for which independent candidate Rohan Chung applied last week, the Jamaica Labour Party's Rhoda Crawford lost 53 votes but retained the win with 8,139 votes. The People's National Party's Peter Bunting gained 50 votes, finishing with 6,989, and Rohan Chung lost 1 vote, ending with 48. At the end of the 3-day recount that ended yesterday, Mr. Chung was reportedly served with claims to pay close to $2.3 million in legal fees for failing in his bid to take control of the constituency by the magisterial recount. Meanwhile, Mr. Chung has signaled that he will be heading to the Supreme Court for a judicial review of the ballot count. Following success at the polls on September 3, Member of Parliament-elect for South East St. Anne, Lisa Hanna, is expressing confidence in reaffirming her victory in the magisterial recount currently underway at the request of the Jamaica Labour Party. Ms. Hanna says she has been taking the time to focus on her constituency.
Hi everybody. In recent days I've focused my time on sitting with and listening to my people in Cecil, saying thank you and reaching out to persons who have been divided for too long. There's a reason why God has kept me here, and I will continue to walk in my purpose for the people. The healing has begun, and we're making steps to restoring the relationships critical to our contribution in surviving the very difficult days ahead for Jamaica.
Newly appointed Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Floyd Green says he wants to see more young people involved in farming as a viable business. In a statement released yesterday, Mr. Green said he's aware of the numerous challenges facing the sector and that strengthening the research and development capabilities is a key priority for the ministry. Mr. Green expressed that with COVID-19 impacting the lives of Jamaicans, agriculture and fisheries have taken on more importance, as the ability to feed oneself now has a greater significance. Mr. Green also stated that an additional $1 billion has been allocated to agriculture, and from that, some funds will be used to assist the fisher folk with retooling and also to provide farmers with machinery. In other news, police officers attached to the Black River Police conducted a targeted raid on Galleon Beach in Crawford District, St. Elizabeth, which resulted in a 9mm Luger high-point pistol being seized on Monday. Reports are that between the hours of 9:30 a.m. and 10:40 a.m., several premises were searched and the firearm found. No one was arrested in connection with the seizure. Residents of the Glendale and Hughenden communities in Kingston have expressed they are experiencing great challenges and concerns due to thieves plaguing the communities. And we have more on this story with Colleen Mee.
Several residents of Glendale and Uhendon say they are in need of more police presence in the communities due to the rise in thefts.
We are having some challenges in the scheme with thieves being going around breaking the houses, and where car is concerned, that is our major problem inside here. So, but since of recent, we don't hear of any, but when it coming on to Christmas time, that is when the problem begins. I think we need more police presence, and who can afford maybe security can do what they can do, but I think we need that.
I think it is greatly unfair for someone to go through so much where they have to take out a loan to purchase a vehicle. And before the closing of the week, it is gone. I can honestly say I've seen that happen, right? I've seen a person bring in a new car today, and 2 days after, it was gone, stolen right there from the car park. So please, I am begging on behalf of Glendale, I am begging to have more police presence. We want to be monitored. We want to be monitored more regularly.
Coming in from work in the evening, they hold you up down the road, take away your phone, your bag, everything. Cars, as what she say, house breaking, if you lock up your house and gone, you come back, break. Them just watch you, if nobody not at home, tear down your place. If you're not grill, go through the window, all those. We have a lot of those in here.
Councillor for the Uhendon Division, Andrew Harris, says he plans on installing cameras in both communities.
I was a part of a meeting, a Zoom meeting, with the residents of Glendale, where they met with the police from Duhaney Park, trying to hammer out a way to get some more patrols. I think that has come through somewhat, but still lacking. But in the interim, what I would love is for us to replicate what we have done in Pembroke with the cameras. So that is my intention, to see if we can get some cameras up in Glendale and of course Uhendon Housing Scheme, where both communities are plagued with car thefts and regular hold-up and robbery. We're doing our part and we will continue to do our part. There's a little piece of the fence at Glendale there that I've committed to the residents, to get the fence. It is now torn down, and we're going to get that fence up, because by what I've been told, that's where the robbers use as their escape route whenever they come into Glendale. So we're working with the community to see if we can just wrestle this problem as best as possible and get it arrested.
Councillor Harris also appealed to community members to be more vigilant.
I often say, whenever I visit any of the citizen association or any gathering, to tell them, look here, we have to solve this thing ourselves. The police hands are tied, it's full, with more pressing crimes. So we have to come together. So I'm just making this appeal that we come together, look out for our neighbor. Whenever your neighbor is not there, they should tell you as a neighbor to say, look here, I'm not here. I'm going to be out for a weekend or a day, and you look out for your neighbor. That's all it takes, folks. Just look out for one another. And I'm sure we will combat the scourge of crime. Our action is really limited. We can do what we can do. We can try and make the representation as best as possible. And where infrastructure is concerned, that we can help with, we try to help with that. And of course, we would lobby the police. But as I said before, we have started something which I think is an excellent project in Pembroke with those cameras, and we want it to be replicated across. So I'll be going straight across the division to sell the idea of getting the cameras up and running. Let it work for us.
Reporting for Mello TV News, I'm Kylene May.
And those were the stories making news. I'll return with the recap. We'll now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.